Hello, welcome to this tutorial on how to crochet a skirt hike. So skirt hikes are a small item that hangs off of a belt, kind of like a garter would, and they allow you to gather up your skirts to lift them up, which can be really helpful if you have like very long or voluminous skirts. So they're really useful for events like Ren Fair to help keep your skirts out of the mud and make walking easier so you don't have to keep lifting your skirts up or holding them in your hands the whole time. And there's not a lot of things that we're going to need. Really, we only need yarn for crocheting, 2 D-rings, which will be the part the skirt actually gets wrapped up in, and a button. As far as your non-consumables, you're just going to need a crochet hook. I'm going to be using a Susan Bates 5mm hook, a pair of scissors, and a tapestry needle. Okay, so the very first clip showing how to start got deleted accidentally. I messed up. So I'm just going to show you again. I did not have a second pair of D-rings, so this is my backup set of D-rings. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to tie your thread to your D-ring. Just like that. Pretty simple. Now, I like to take this and hold it back here so that when I crochet onto this, it gets hidden. I think that's a little easier. The first line, all you're going to do is you're going to single crochet and you're going to wrap the crochets around this piece of metal. Remember, if you have your D-rings, you want both of them. This is going to be 2 separate pieces from your D-rings, okay? And you can also do this with jump rings if that's all you have. It is going to be a little more difficult. So yeah, you're just going to go through your single crochets until you have the length that you need for your D-ring. For mine, it was 7. 7 single crochets was how many I needed, so I'm going to do 7 on here as well. All right, so I have secured all 7 of my stitches, and then I'm just going to flip it, and then I'm going to start my Tunisians. So those are pretty simple. You go in, go around, and then you're just going to leave it there. Then you're going to do that 6 more times, or until you have 7 of these on your hook. Okay. Now I have 7 on here, and then you're gonna take this and you're going to pull in 2 every time. And then you're going to do it again, and you're going to go through these loops until you have 7. Should be fairly easy to get this time. 4, 5. Your last one's going to be towards the end there. All right, now you have all 7, and you go through and you do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oop, I got 3 that time. You only want to do 2, otherwise it won't work. All right, so that is the pattern for the chain. It's quite simple, and you just keep going until you have the desired length that you want before your belt loop. So for me, that is 5 inches, and I will see you when I reach that 5 inches. So I've gotten it about the length that I want, which is perfect. And now I need to make a buttonhole. Now, if you are not using a button, which you can absolutely make the design without a button, if you're not using a button, just ignore this part. But if you are using a button, and the reason that you would maybe want a button versus not having a button is the button allows you to take this off while still wearing the belt. If you don't use a button for whatever reason, maybe you don't have the dexterity to do buttons easily, or for whatever reason that you don't want a button, the only thing that will be different is that you will not be able to take this off of the belt without undoing the belt itself. So that's why we're adding a button, so that you can take it off while keeping the belt on if you need to. So for the buttonhole, you're going to go into the first 2, you're going to chain 3, and then you're going to go into the last 2. Now I have 7 here. If you have more than 7, your numbers might be a little different. You're also going to want to make sure that your button is going to fit through the hole. So you might need to make it a little bigger or a little smaller, just depending on the situation. You definitely want at least 2 chains into each side. So even if you can only fit 1, do 2, chain your however many you need to, and then do 2 here. And then when you go back, only crochet into it once. Just because you don't want to have just one holding either side. You want to have at least 2 pieces of yarn that are holding it together. So I will chain 1, chain 2, sorry, not chain, but, and then I'm going to chain, this is gonna be a little confusing. 1, 2, 3, and then I'm gonna go over here, do my 2, 1, 2, and now I'm gonna go back through all of them. 1, 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to, again, do 1, 2. It's gonna look a little funny. And then I do 1, 2. Now you only have 5 here, and you need 7. So when you go back, instead of going through this one and then making it smaller, what you're going to do is you're going to go back and you're going to go into this one however many times you need to make the right amount. So it's gonna loop a little funny here, but it'll be okay. So you go 1, 2, and you go into this one. And now you go through and you do your 1, 2s again. 1, 2, 1, need to go through the other one. And it's gonna look a little messy, but it's going to be hidden, so it's all right. And now you have a buttonhole. Now that we're fully past our buttonhole, we're going to do some more, we're just gonna make more of a chain. But in order to figure out the length of the chain that you need, you're going to need to know the size, the thickness of your belt. So I have the belt that I want here. Unless your belt is very big, we're gonna want about 3 lengths of the belt. So 1 of this, so this is about 1 inch. So I'm going to want to go 3 inches. If you have an absurdly long belt, what you're gonna wanna do is the belt length twice and then add maybe 1.5 inches so that you can sew the button on at the end. So all we're gonna need to do really is make it long enough that it can go around the whole thing and then fasten back. So for me, that's 3 inches. If your belt is bigger, it's going to be more. So just make sure that you have enough length built, because you're just gonna keep going with the same pattern. Make sure you have enough length, and then meet me back when you have enough length that you can wrap it around and you can still put the button there. Okay, so now I have gone through and I have crocheted the amount that I need. I'm just going to take this off. So we want it to go all the way around and then have a little extra left here. So this is where we would be putting the button. So we want to pinch that spot right there so we know where it is. And this is where we will attach the button. I'm going to cut this off and cast off. Give myself a pretty sizable tail. And we are going to add the button to the back side of the project. So it'll be like this. I want it, let's see. I want it to face downwards. So I will face it this direction when I sew it on. Okay. So now it's done. And when you flip this around, you can see why it needs to be at the back side so that the button will actually work. So if you do it the other way, if you do it on the front side, you'll have to twist it and it won't hold. So now we just fasten our button. And there you go. This is the loop from which you will hang it on here. You can keep it buttoned and then just pull it through, or you can unbutton it and just take it off. And there you go. That is your skirt hike. And if you did not do a buttonhole, when you reach the point that you are like, this is where I want it to be, the length that I want, and that's where you should have done the buttonhole, just keep going till it's the length that you needed to go around the belt. And then when you're done, just sew this together and it'll slip on and off. You won't be able to unbutton it, obviously. So if you don't have D-rings, again, you can use jump rings. They won't look the same, and this will have to be thinner. But here's one I made with jump rings. And I also did not use a button on this one because it was my backup for when I was struggling with button closures. So for this one, instead of fastening it up the top so that I could put the belt through, I just ended up going all the way around and making just a little loop so that it doesn't matter what size the belt is, it'll be able to fit through it. So this is a simpler one if you're struggling with the buttonhole, or if you don't have D-rings, you can use jump rings. So that is it. That is how you make a skirt hike.